Hello and welcome to this very late afternoon challenge. We have two whiskeys, 80 proof, sour mash. So we have two sour mash, 80 proof whiskeys, but they're not from the same state. This one is called Jethro Tea Boots, introduced in 2014, and it is from Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. But and it's produced by the Legacy Distilling Company. And you might recognize this bottle, and that'll tell you who the Legacy Distilling Company is. For CVS Pharmacy. So this is intended to be sold only at CVS Pharmacy on their liquor aisle. And there's a tag on the back indicating that. Okay, scratch that. $8.99 for this bottle. $8.99 plus tax. Okay, so it was $9.86 after tax. True story. Now, only thing, you had to have a CVS card, which they don't charge you to have that. It's like a little, one of those loyalty cards like Winn-Dixie does, Wyndham Hotels and so forth. All right. The competitor is Tennessee George Dickel Tennessee whiskey. This is their Cascade Hollow recipe. Old-fashioned Cascade Hollow batch recipe. Back in the 1870s, George Dickel named his very first whiskey Cascade. And there definitely was Cascade whiskey up until 1964, when it was an inexpensive whiskey, and it was replaced by George Dickel Classic 8, the black label, and the Superior 12 cream-colored label, which now the name's been changed to the Signature 12. But, these companies always changing things. This is from Diageo, who owns Dickel now, and Crown Royal. And then they got this big write-up on the side, like an essay. Back in 1870, George Dickel had a dream. He produced the smoothest Tennessee whiskey around, and it goes on and on. On to the other side of the bottle. Now, my trademark data said that the trademark was first used for this in 2018, so only 4 years ago, which is around the time I bought this. And it says right here on the side, aged 3 years. Aged 3 years. Tennessee Sour Mash Whiskey. Now it's spelled with no E in the old style way, whiskey, which is the way the United States government spells whiskey. But it's not a law. You can spell it either way you want, with an E, without an E. Okay, I'm talking about for the United States. I don't know about other countries. And there's George Dickel, like a sculpture of him. Okay, so that's it. Old-fashioned Cascade Hollow batch recipe. Tullahoma, Tennessee. 80 proof. If you look at the website, I put a link below. It says not being bottled at this time. The way they wrote it is no longer being bottled at this time, which is kind of a very awkwardly written sentence. If it's no longer being bottled, that would include this time. It should, of course, the sentence should just say is no longer being bottled, period. Could they resume it? Well, yeah, of course they could resume it. There's rumors that Molson Coors is bringing back Icehouse Edge. But if you read their material when they got rid of a lot of brands, they didn't say they never used the term discontinuing the brands. They said things like the brands are going to go on a rest. They're going to rest. That was in 2021. But that's another story for another time. All right. Oh, I didn't give you the price for the Dickel. Now, I want to tell you the price, and you're going to say, you crazy, you're making it up. I'm not making it up. This is a liter bottle. You can see it's bigger. I thought when I saw it on the shelf at that store, Discount Depot in Marrero, Louisiana, on United States Highway 90, business route, westbound, on the ground level. Well, of course, they wouldn't have a store on the elevated part. I thought this bottle's big. So I saw 1 liter. Now, what does this say? I need a magnifying glass to see this little symbol. Might be something about Tennessee certification. But anyway, you know, like the government of state government of Tennessee. But anyway, they had a sign up there, $7.99. I said, "Ooh, $7.99 for a liter." So I bought a bottle, and then for a present, a treat, I bought my friend David a bottle. I was like, he's gonna be shocked by this. So when I went to the Hot Rod Club where we used to hang out sometimes, I said, I'm gonna give this to you. It was $7.99 for a liter, but he was stunned, you know. His lasted about a month. Maybe not a month. No. Maybe 2 weeks. And that was in 2018 or 2019. See, I think it was 2018. I think I bought this one 4 years ago, but I'd have to check my records, you know. But it was sometime back then. Now, it's golden, and this one is deeper amber, all right? I'm not drinking too much, like people might say. You're doing all these taste challenges. Well, it was a day off of work. I wasn't too busy. And we talked, and what beers did I drink? Heavy hitters? No. No. 4 beers. A 4.5 percenter. Let's see. Yes, that was. And then a 4.7 and a 5.9, 5.5. 5.5, that was the strongest. Oh, and a 5. So a 5.5, a 5er, a 4.7, and a 4.5, and that's in a 24-hour period. That was the beers I drank in a 24-hour period. Since, yeah, because now we're going on when I did the Joker's Wild Wednesday. It's not too much, is it? Okay, and then when these taste challenges, we're talking about like a little bitty bit. I mean, enough to taste it, of course, but not pouring a big one. That's a great deal, says Robert Futt, 99. The owner must be some old guy who hasn't checked prices in 20 years. No. That's what you would think. But the owner is a middle-aged South Asian woman, probably from like India. Could be Sri Lanka, you know, something like that. But I'll say India. But anyway, and she got this thing rolling. I mean, this business is rolling. There's always people coming in, going out, coming in, going out. It's a convenience store. We used to be a convenience store. I mean, it is still in a way, because they sell, like, you know, Hostess snack cakes and chocolate bars and all, and milk and juice and other things. I think they sell ice if you want to get ice, bags of ice. But they mainly sell liquor and beer, but mainly liquor. I mean, there's a pretty good beer selection, but all kind of gin, rum, brandy, whiskey, vodka, schnapps, you know, other liqueurs, and they just got people coming in and out of that place all day long. And I'm one of the people, but I don't do it all day long because it's about an hour away. It's kind of difficult to get to it from here, just because it's like a lot of winding roads to get to it and stoplights, and it's a hassle. I could take the interstate in the expressway for most of the route. It's still long though, because then I got to go around, and it's anyway. You're not interested in that. All right, so she just gets these great deals. I don't know if she's involved with, you know, what's going on, but you go in there and you see deals like that. You don't ask questions. You just buy it and you leave. Like a handle of vodka for $3.99. Obviously not a great brand, but it might be like Nickel vodka or Rickoloff. They all got the same kind of name. Those are two actual brands too. I saw that one time. I was like, what is this stuff? You know, I know it's from one of the big companies though. All these big companies put out these shambles, these vodkas and gins that you never heard of. But I mean, they don't put it on their website, but they exist, and she's got them, and they got some people that walk in there or sometimes look like they're stumbling in there and buying these deals. You don't always see it. Like you'd have to go every day to see everything, but like that, like what I'm telling you, the Cascade Hollow, she had probably 24 bottles for $7.99. Now, you don't think those last a week? They did not. They're gone. But then they'll have some other delight the next time for some crazy price. Now, I got too much backstock as it is, so I don't go. I intentionally do not go there, and I don't go to Savannah Discount because I know if I go, I'm gonna see something and I'm gonna buy it, and then I'm gonna have more stuff I don't need. Okay. Oh, am I smelling? Am I smelling? I might be smelling. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about when I talk about Dickel. Now, see, this one over here just smell like a sourdough bagel. You say, what brand? Thomas or Linda? I don't know. But this thing over here, I'm telling you, it smells like a health food store. If you ever been to a health food store, you say health food store, those things smell like a bunch of vitamins. Right. Okay, let's go with the taste. I'm gonna get to the comments. I gotta use my. If I put my glasses on, I'm gonna glance and see which one's darker. Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. Yeah, I was pretty surprised. I wasn't surprised though, because when I saw the photo of her 2 days ago when she appointed the new prime minister, I thought, I don't know, she looks pretty frail. But she was standing up, smiling, shaking a lady's hand. So, I mean, she could walk. But, you know, all of a sudden they said the doctors are worried about, her physicians are very worried about her health. At 96 years old, I mean, she might have laid down to say, I'm going to take a nap, and they couldn't wake her up. You know, could have been something like that. We can't wake her up. They could see she was breathing, but they couldn't wake her up. And they might have called her family. Better get here quick. You know, so it could have been something like that. Or she fell. I mean, who knows at this age? And then at 12:30 today, almost 12:30, I said, I'm going to go for a walk. I said, no, let me turn the news on and see if they said that she had died. I don't know why I said that to myself. I just had a feeling if I turn on the news, they're going to say that. I said, you're just thinking crazy thoughts or whatever. So then my father called immediately after that, and I answered the phone and said, what's going on? Queen Elizabeth died. I said, whoa. And I was just thinking it, you know, so, I mean, I live in the United States. I don't live in England or Wales or Scotland or Northern Ireland or the Isle of Man, one of those little countries you never heard of. Or I don't live in Bermuda or Canada or any other realm, Commonwealth realm or territory. So, you know, I don't have any direct relation. But you hate to see any old person die, especially a famous one who's been there for 70 years on the throne, and I'm not even a pro-British. If you look at my foreign policy diatribes, I'm probably most likely Anglophobic more than Anglophilic, you know? You might say you just really dislike the British. I don't dislike them personally. I'm talking about the policies. I like everybody, you know, pretty much. Okay. All right. So taste, but I know what it is. All right. Yeah. It tastes like George Dickel. You know why? Because it tastes like vitamins. And when I say this, people are going to take it the wrong way. Like, oh man, you must really hate that stuff. No, I actually like George Dickel, and I would drink it. You know, like I wouldn't get tired of it. It's just an unusual, eccentric taste. I never taste any other whiskey taste like this. And then I got the number 12, the superior, or now they call it the signature. It's the same thing. It just tastes strange. That doesn't imply bad. Strange is not the same as bad. I know some people that are strange, but they're not bad. Now I know some people that are strange and they do seem bad, you know. But you know, it's not a mutually exclusive thing, or it's not a totally linked thing. You know, it's not a totally positive correlation that every strange thing is bad. That would be a positive correlation. See, this one here just tastes like regular old bourbon. Corn, charred oak, the honeysuckle nectar, and a little, yeah, and like sugar. So it's the Jethro tea boots, just dynamite. Gonna give you the money. No, it's just ordinary. It's just an ordinary product, but it's $8.99. See the difference? It's ordinary. You could say it's bland. I wouldn't argue with that, but it's only $8.99 a bottle. The Cascade Hollow, I looked up regular prices for this. It was like, you know, when it was made, they don't have it listed too many places anymore, but they do have some places still selling it. They got leftover bottles. They were saying it was like, you know, like $18, 3-year age. That was for the regular bottle. Now I'm not talking about the liter. You know, the liter's going to be more. It's going to be like 24. But I got it for $7.99, and that is the truth. There's different theories about why this came out. I was reading, but I never saw anything definitive. But they were saying, oh yeah, George Dickel Distillery was running out of aged whiskeys, and they needed to put something in bottles, so they just made this like a stopgap brand to make some 3-year whiskey until they got their aging back in order and had a bunch of aged stuff to put out again. I guess it could be true. Seemed like they would go to a lot of trouble though to make all this special fancy label and everything and all this text. And you know, George Dickel's got it. A lot of text and essay. But I mean, it might be true, but I never saw anything definitive. And they said once they caught up and had enough aged whiskey, then they dropped it. Their website doesn't tell either way, like why they made it, why they didn't make it. They just say it's no longer being made. Now the videos, the handful that I watched, because there are hardly any existing of it, everybody liked it. They just said, yes. I read this story that you know, there was all that same thing. I read this story. I heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend that you were a 3-year age for that particular reason. But it doesn't matter because it's gone now. Now, could they bring it back tomorrow? Yeah, of course they could. All right. Dickel. Ah, yes. Now I'm at 6 and 7. You say 6 and 7. What does that mean? You're at 6 and 7. Well, it means I'm at 6 wins and 7 losses. With Jethro T Boots, I have 6 wins and 7 losses, which is a losing record. I have more losses than wins. That is not good. Is that indicative of me being a bad taster? It's possible. I don't think that's the reason. The reason is that Jethro T Boots taste too much like everything else. Which, when you think about it, it's not an indictment against it because it's only $8.99 sitting on the shelf. Oh, I'm sorry, setting on the shelf with no advertising attention, a 4-year age or longer because it's no age statement. No, it's not an indictment against Boots. It's an indictment against all the other big brands that cannot beat it. See what I'm saying? It shouldn't win ever. If I do this Boots, it should be losing every time for $8.99 a bottle. Because everybody knows about George McKenna. I'm sorry, Henry McKenna. I'm thinking about George Dickel. Henry McKenna. You know, people say, well, I heard of Jim Beam. Obviously. But they're not standing out. Which is really sort of like a lesson. Just because you see something for a low price, don't automatically pass it by and think it's just trash. Because in this case, it's not. Now, I know it's coming from Buffalo Trace, but they're using a very sort of mysterious presentation. They're using an alias name. They're trying to act like they don't make it, but then they didn't bother using a different bottle, you see. They got the same old ancient age McAfee's bottle. But they're probably thinking, nobody at CVS is going to care about that. And that's probably true. I'm probably the only person who ever went to CVS and bought that cared about that. All right. So rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth. You're an honest taster. Thank you. I am an honest taster. 2 drinks for the Queen. The Queen? How you spell that? It's I was trying to think about something. I'm not going to bring it up. Anyway, oh, you're making the pronunciation. 2 drinks for the Queen. Oh, yeah. Because, Gary, the Rhine and Spain falls mainly on the plain. All right. I've grown accustomed to her face. All right, anyway, well, there you go. There you have it. And that's the way it is. January 15th, 1981. So the National Socialist Football League is starting in a little while, in about an hour. I guess I'll lay down and watch that boring stuff. The Beatles did a song for her on Abbey Road. Oh, yeah. Well, I can't talk about that song because I got to get a belly full of wine. All right. January 15th, 1981. That's the way it is. All right. Anyhow, what's going to happen when we do the George Dickel Superior Blend, now known as Signature, number 12, cream-colored label? It's going to be the same result. So if you want to save time, don't watch it because it's going to be the same thing. The game is only on Amazon, I think. No, it's on NBC. Oh, here comes the Kansas City Southern Railroad. No, the National Socialist Football League tonight is going to be on the National Socialist Broadcasting Company channel. Okay, so we'll close it out, and I'll get that win. I'll get that win. We got him, Josie. We showed him, Josie. Why is that train slowing down? Oh, they got an old engine, KC at the old painting, huh? All right. Anyway, y'all take care now. Thanks for watching this great victory. You are correct. I'm rooting for a tie. I'm rooting for a 0-0 tie. The last thing I want to see in the NFL now, I wanted to see a Super Bowl go to overtime. We saw that. My last goal is to see an NFL game end 0-0. That is my type of excitement, an NFL game ending 0-0. Thanks for watching this video production.